looking at the rebranding of AirAsia. The new logo is focused around the motifs of traditional batik fabrics. There's several complex patterns that all merge together to create one overall image. The round shape of the logo comes from the shape of the globe and travelling. The logo is also reminiscent of a complex map with hand-drawn patterns and paths to follow. The logo is also similar to flying and looking out of an aircraft on the ground at the different tapestry of all the different land uses joining together. As you can see in the presentation, there is a full colour, reversed and mono version of the logo. The full colour version of the logo uses the primary red colour. This red colour, dry chili, is inspired by ingredients often used in Southeast Asian and Chinese cooking, and the red fabrics often used in Chinese tapestries. This red colour is also really close to the colour of the current AirAsia branding, which is significant as it means that there will be no need to change the interiors of the planes that are already using these colours. The second primary colour, Temple Gold, though not featured in the logo, is featured heavily in collateral. The colour is inspired by the warm gold tones of temples and jewels. The remaining colour palette, pandan, turmeric, sandstone, jade and crystal sea, are all pulled from images of Asia. The colours are all found in multiple places throughout Asia. The dark green is found in both pandan, a cooking ingredient, other green herbs and spices, and tropical jungles. The turmeric is a colour of sands and warmth, and heaps of herbs and spices that you'll find in Asian cooking. The sandstone is the colour of the sandstone cliffs in a landscape. It's also heavily associated with the tropics and beach holidays. The jade is pulled from the colour of jade, a semi-precious stone which is significant in South Asian and Chinese culture. The jade colour is thought to offer protection and healing when worn in jewellery. The final supporting colour, crystal sea, is a deep blue colour, similar to clear blue oceans and clear blue skies, and just sort of gives a feeling of warmth and happiness and adventures by the sea. Many of AirAsia's popular destinations are tropical coast destinations. The typography used is clean and simple. Both typefaces are really clear and easy to read. This was important as the branding will be used on several elements such as boarding passes that have to be really easy for the person to read and understand. So onto the usage examples now. The boarding pass is the first usage example. It uses some splashes of the warm red dry chili colour, but the rest of it is fairly clear and not a lot of branding, just to simplify finding the information that you need. The back of the boarding pass features the image grid, which is found in almost every AirAsia branded collateral. The image grid would use a variety of images from different destinations, along with all of the colours, the supporting palette and the primary palette, to sort of create a sense of adventure and excitement and all the different things that you're going to see and experience. The second usage example is the flight attendant uniform. The uniform for the flight attendant is the rich red of the dry chili colour, with the reverse version of the logo embroidered on both a hat and the shirt. The bright red would help the flight attendant stand out during the flight and make them easily recognisable. And the subtle branding is just to sort of help identify who they are. It's not really a heavily branded item. The next example is the letterhead. The letterhead again uses the image grid as the boarding pass did, and the logo in nice, clean, simple typography. The tagline is also located on the letterhead, experience more for less. The letterhead would mostly be used for corporate communications, but it's nice to bring the full branding impact in on the letterhead as well. Again, with the business cards, there is the image grid on the back of the business cards, and on the front of the business cards, the branding and the same crisp, clear typography with the contact details. The next example here is a luggage tag. Now, the luggage tag would be given to people flying with the airline upon check-in to put on their luggage to help them identify it. The luggage tag is more of a memento than a piece of corporate branding, so we thought nice, big, bright images with the image grid in a colour and a nice, simple, reversed version of the logo with the tagline as a sort of branded memento from the flight with AirAsia. To relaunch the new brand, we've come up with an advertising campaign. The first part of the campaign is a television commercial. This TVC would feature the same young traveller at lots of different destinations that AirAsia fly to. KL, Singapore, tea plantations in the Malaysian highlands, Mount Fuji in Japan, lots of easily recognisable destinations. The girl would be in the same position in the frame at each destination, taking a selfie with a smartphone or a point and shoot camera. And obviously having fun, enjoying yourself. And the final couple of frames of the 30-second television commercial would be on an AirAsia plane with the same young female traveller sitting on the plane being served a drink by one of the AirAsia flight attendants while drawing on a map of the globe marking more destinations that AirAsia fly to that the traveller is planning the rest of their trip and going to visit. The final frame of the television commercial would be the AirAsia logo. The voice script for the commercial would be, we've updated our look, but nothing else has changed. We still fly to just as many amazing destinations with the same great service for the same low prices. A wide range of destinations let you experience more for less. So the whole concept of the advertising campaign is to reassure people that even though the look's changed, the destinations that AirAsia fly to and the service on AirAsia and the low price of AirAsia is still the same as it always has been. The next part of the advertising campaign was a billboard. A billboard was chosen because they're highly visible to lots of market segments, and even though we're targeting young adventurers as the main market segment, billboards will be noticed by people who already fly AirAsia to help relaunch the brand, and existing customers are people who are looking for holidays might notice the billboard, and it just sort of get a wider range of exposure. The next two parts of the campaign were a magazine ad. The magazine ad would feature the same young female traveller used in the television commercial. Depending on which magazine it was being printed in, we could use different destinations in the background. The tagline is also clearly printed in the top corner of the magazine ad, experience more for less. Underneath the tagline there's also a little sub-note, a new look but the same amazing destinations. It was important to keep the emphasis on the destinations because that's one of AirAsia's biggest selling points, is that there is such a wide variety of destinations that you can fly to. The next part of the campaign was less of a hard sell and more of a collectible for the target audience. Young creative people are a large segment of the target audience, adventurous creative people. So we've created a poster. The poster features the AirAsia image grid with some stunning images of lots of different destinations, and the tagline "Experience more for less" by just using the branding and the reverse version of the logo over the image grid and keeping it simple. It's still promoting the new brand, but without being a hard sell. The final piece of the campaign was a redesign of the in-flight menu. The current in-flight menu is not heavily branded, and even though the food on the menu hasn't changed with the new branding, the menu's been rebranded to reflect the new AirAsia brand. The front cover of the in-flight menu features the same image grid with images of lots of different destinations and the full AirAsia colour palette. This sort of unifies everything across all of the AirAsia branding, and it's also sort of something interesting to look at, all the different images, see if you can pick where they each are, all those sorts of things that happen when you're on a flight. The inside of the in-flight menu features large images, high impact images of the food on the menu. Even though airline food is not amazing food, it's nice to make it stand out and look stunning. The menu's clear and easy to read, which is important, and that's achieved by the clear typography that was chosen throughout the branding. The back of the in-flight menu has some information about what's happened now it's rebranded, and the same tagline as well about experience more for less, and just some information about, yeah, the look's changed, but AirAsia still flies to the same destinations and still offers the great service for the same great price.